we're going to bring in our featured artist now. So, Rob, whenever you can get the shot set up. Brent Roach was supposed to be here a couple weeks ago. He had some technical difficulties with the Zoom room, so we decided to have him back. So, Brent, how you doing, man? You're like way up in the Arctic tonight, right?
I am. I'm in northern Canada, and thanks for having me on the show.
Yeah, cool, man. Good to have you here. So, like I was telling you, this is sort of when I have you do the little elevator pitch of who you are and what what you're doing with your music, in about 20 or 30 seconds, and then just talk briefly about the song Angel. We'll listen to that, and then we'll come back and get deeper with Dave.
Cool. Started back up recording after being out of the business since the 80s, and started writing again in September, and hooked up with some old musician friends and session players, and captured a fantastic vocalist, Marcelo Vieira, and we put together this project, and the royalty checks are starting to come in, so we're pretty happy.
Oh, nice. That's cool. They actually make those still, huh?
I got my first one yesterday. I'm pretty
From 1998.
So are you going to go buy yourself a nice soda pop then? Or?
Well, 1984 cost, I don't think you can buy much.
It's got my ASCAP check from the mid-'80s. It's just kicking in.
I made my first record 1984. I was 16, so you can do the math on that one.
Very cool. We have a cool sound. We like the song Angel, so we're going to go ahead and take a listen to that. Everybody share this video out. Let Brent know what you think in the comments, and we'll be right back.
I heard an angel crying out my name. I heard an angel and it sounded quite the same. But the last time she spoke, it was the last time she was here. Saying, Daddy, please don't go. You know I need you near. I call her Angel, and she's never coming home. I call her Angel, but she lives inside my heart and makes me strong. I call her Angel, and she's never coming home. I call her Angel, but she lives inside my heart. She hears this song. As time flew by, the winter came, and the Lord took her on his day. I said goodbye with one last kiss and whispered in her ear, tonight you'll be in heaven, and this is what I call her Angel, and she's never coming home. I call her Angel, but she lives inside my heart.
Deeper with Dave. Deeper with Dave. Oh, yeah.
Sponsored by.
So, Brent, you're from northern Canada where the water runs clear and there is work to be done. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
I've always wanted to say that. It was a joke from high school.
It's true.
Man, all right. I got a bunch of questions for you here, man. Let's start with the giant gaps that are left in your bio here that I was reading earlier today. So, I mean, you're a full spectrum artist in the sense that you're a poet,
Yes.
writer, songwriter, composer,
Guitars.
guitar player. So this song that we just heard, you actually composed it, and then you played the guitar, and then you had some session players do some of the other instruments like drum, bass, and stuff. But let's start with just the background, man, because you got into music pretty early, and you started making some records in your teens. And And it says that, you know, you did it for Capitol Records and everything, and it didn't work out. But dude, that's 1980, man. Like, we're almost 40 years later. Like, what happened in between all those years?
And yeah, I haven't changed my style. I've been writing the same way. I've been playing the same way. You've heard my music, and I haven't changed anything. And now I'm starting to get recognized, like 35 years later.
Okay, so have you been writing all this time for the past 30 years?
No. A huge hiatus in the
A huge okay, you don't have to say the hiatus unless you want to. Was it just
Yeah, I don't know. It's just time to come back, I guess. I figured there would be it was time to come back. You know what? Everything is a cycle, and I was just figuring that my sound would hit home now again.
Well, I mean, in deconstructing the sound that we just heard, it brings me back to that the decade of the 80s. And you said that you were a rock promoter for Nazareth, Bryan Adams, Bachman Turner Overdrive.
Right.
So there's some of those influences in your sound today, but I'm feeling more Scorpions, some more like there's some like hair metal in this sound, but it's evolved, of course. It's a little more modern and everything, but is that like doing your as a rock promoter was the bulk of that time in the 80s and 90s, or you
No.
want to talk about that? Or
Well, the rock promoting, that would be in the last 10 years. I started to bring in the big bands into my hometown and other towns, bigger cities like, you know, Toronto and stuff. And that was great. You know, it's my passion. Music's my passion. And I just went bigger. I just got bigger, and that's how that all started up.
okay, so fast forward to the recent past, which I'm sure this was like one of the seminal moments of your music career, probably your life, was meeting up with your vocalist, because man, this guy's got some pipes. I mean, this is just, you hear this guy sing, and I was blown away, man. I first heard this song a few weeks ago because we you know, the show got delayed and everything. I'm like, holy crap, man, talk about some range. And that's what I'm thinking, like Scorpions, because that genre during the decade of the 80s, a lot of those singers had this insane range, you know, like Sebastian Bach and, you know, all these guys that could just like belt it just knock people on their ass when you listen to them. And so I guess talk about that. Talk about where, like you said, all of a sudden a friend sent Marcello over to your house 6 hours north of Toronto. Did he just like appear out of the forest or something? I mean,
Man of the Wild, yeah.
yeah.
No, it just I had the songs, and I was looking. I actually had a guy. You guys have heard of the band Helix?
Blue Helix or
Helix.
okay, just Helix.
Want We Will Rock You, a Canadian.
Oh
band.
yeah, of course.
And one of my singers back in the '80s, when I had my band and stuff, he ended up becoming the producer of Helix. And I said, once I had laid all the tracks down, I said, I got to get that right voice, you know, David. I need that voice, that hair metal voice. And I was searching for it. And I said, I know the guy. And I called him up. I said, you'd be fantastic to sing this song. Just like you said, Skid Row type deal, the whole 9 yards. And he turned me down, but he said, I got a guy that you gotta hook up with. And Marcello sent me a demo, and I go, holy crap, this guy's amazing. And we got a hold of each other. We hit it off. Angel was the first song, and we started in September. I had everything completed for the song Angel on December 11th. And my wife came home from work, and I said, you got to listen to this. And I played it, and we both cried. Amazing. Just, he brings
I mean, yeah, it's that type of talent to have that reaction. I understand that, man.
He brought us to tears. And I, you know what, guys, if I never write another song, I never do anything in the music business ever again, that song it's with me forever. It's
Yeah, it seems like it was a voice you've been searching for 30 years.
30 some years.
Yeah.
You know, you guys were talking about, if the Scorpions were on tour, I should be backing them up. And then Joe said maybe they'll be backing me up. I've been doing the same stuff for 35 years, and I'm just getting the checks now.
Yeah.
It's crazy how the business works. It just blows me away. I'm 57 years old and playing rock star. In
Yeah.
North
So what?
Canada with the
we always like to talk music business here too, as well. Like, where are the bulk of the checks coming from? Is it just radio play or what?
Spotify, iTunes, and I got a check yesterday from CD Baby.
Oh, nice.
Or
Okay.
my distributor, man. And on my Facebook, I'll open up my Facebook page every day, and I got 30, 40, 50 fans every day. And this has been going on since the record came out in February.
That's cool.
Okay, so that's not that long ago. So what's going through your head in terms of the future of this project? Like, you have session players that recorded the album. So do you have a live band, and do you want to tour with this?
We all hold. I originally put down all the tracks for the EP in my hometown with players that I grew up with here in my hometown. You know, I knew a bass player, I knew a drummer.
Yeah.
Blah 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 blah. And we basically, and then my session players, we all hold down full-time real jobs. And unless Ellen calls me and wants me to be,
What are you saying? Is that a no? You said you got this buzz going on, so you would not tour? Is that what you're saying?
Well, money talks.
All right.
You know, money talks. If you want to set me up for a crazy tour backing up the Scorpions and want to put some cash in my account, I'm good to go. Absolutely.
I'll
Well,
make some
dude,
phone calls.
I know, but I think that's honestly, that's a perfect fit because of this revive. I mean, the revival is not new. This isn't like the past year or anything. The mid 80s hair metal revival probably started at least 10 years ago. Probably maybe even 15, where they just started getting a lot of offers to tour again. I mean, it was maybe a tenth of the money from the mid 80s, but it was enough where they all started doing it again. So you're like the Brent Roach Project, Angel, this type of sound is perfect as an opener, man, for these guys.
Thank you.
Because it's like, you can hear the roots of that sound in your music, and then the fans will be listening. It's like, oh, cool, this is the evolution of that sound, but it's still there. Like, that vocal range and some elements are still there, and I think they would love it, man. I really do.
A huge contender, absolutely. My band and what we're doing, we are, yes, absolutely contenders, David. And I have already started approaching, the huge labels, EMI, Capitol, back to, Universal Canada Records and stuff. I'm getting myself out there, and I'm waiting for the offers.
All right, man. Well, when people start hitting you up on Twitter, make sure to let us know, but we have to move on for this show tonight. Brent, it was a pleasure talking. I want to shout out your website. It's BrentRoachProject.com. Just how it sounds, BRENT, roachproject.com. Right in the lower third. God, Rob's on the ball. But Brent, maybe we'll chat with you after, but it was a pleasure chatting with you, man.
Nice meeting y'all.